just have to sell your soul.
Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, and this is episode number 11, my career mode with West Ham United on FIFA 13. We're in Season 2, and we haven't made a bad start, have we really? Have we? I know the last 3 games were all draws, but come on, that weren't that bad really, was it? You know, when you consider you played Chelsea, you played Arsenal, when you played Man City, and you came away with 3 points and no losses, I think we should take a little bit of a pat on the back and actually think to ourselves, you know, we have come a long way. So before we get into the games, I just want to say sorry for the lack of uploading West Ham. If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen that I've made a few tweets just regarding issues with the actual files, the actual game files that I record with. I record with a Ava Media Dark Crystal HD capture card, purely because of the 1080p. It's a fantastic capture card, but it records in what they call a .ts file, which is the most unusable file, and I have to convert that file. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind, it's well worth it. I mean, the quality of my videos I think are fantastic. You know, I do 1080 plus 720 and a lot of people just do 720. But anyway, it's caused me a lot of problems after a lot of Googling, a lot of frustrated hours. I managed to get it sorted out, and this video is probably not going to be as over the top full passion as my normal videos because it's currently 2:37 in the morning, and I've got to be quiet because of the house. That, and also I've got a huge workload coming up, so I'm going to be getting these videos banged out now as quick as I can. This video is essentially just to show you a couple of games and let you know that I am uploading West Ham. The next video is going to show you 3 games, and we're going to move into the transfer window. So we're going to have a lot to discuss in the next video, and hopefully in this video you'll just enjoy seeing West Ham back. And just look at the way we're playing football. Look at it. Does it remind you of anything? Yes, it does. The Barcelona of East London. Absolutely majestic football. And the one thing I love about playing QPR have this... That was an awful shot, by the way. That actually was a shot. It wasn't a cross. I can't even blag it. I couldn't even try to blag it. It was just an absolute awful shot. It was a disgraceful shot. The one thing I love about playing QPR is they're indisciplined. They're absolutely indisciplined. Look at their back line there. You only have to see it. There's like an arc. You know, the right back and the left back are further back than the 2 centre backs. They allow you so much time and space. They create their own issues. I mean, look how far that right back has pulled away from its centre back. Now, that shouldn't be happening. You don't want that. You really, really, really don't want that. For some reason, QPR done it. If you rewatch the games in Season 1, QPR do it in there. You know, they allow you time and space. And when you've got clinical players that we've got now, you know, the squad has come along so well. I mean, look at Spence marauding inside, knocks it to Gabs. That is just an epic finish, and that is essentially made by Gabs' intelligence. Now, I'm going to compare him to, say, Emenike in my Arsenal career mode for the simplistic fact Gabs creates his own space. He has this ability to find a hole, fill it, turn, and actually finish it. A little bit like Emenike. I think Gabs is a lot better, but the one thing I find frustrating about Gabs is his rating is now stagnant. It's not as if he can improve anymore. You know, it's not as if we don't play him. We play him as much as possible. You know, he's our second talisman because our main talisman, as you know, is out for a ridiculous amount of time because he basically snapped himself into a billion pieces, which is really, really frustrating. And I just want to thank EA for basically bending us over and screwing us. He's our talisman. Do they not realise? But on I suppose on the negative side is my defending is still shoddy. But, you know, I've got to thank Butland. He did come out and close that angle down really, really well. You look how he came out. He closed that angle down. And I think that put the actual striker off. You know, Winston Reid was coming back. He was pounding back. And, yeah, I think we were just lucky to get away with that, to be perfectly honest. But as I was saying, it's the inability of QPR. You look at the gaps they're leaving. The gaps they're leaving are huge. Their defenders commit way, way too early. And that allows so much more time for us to create more opportunities. I mean, look at this from Winston Reid. That is an absolute tank of a challenge. And look at the gaps. The gap he's got to maraud in. You know, Gabs is creating space on the left-hand side of him by dragging the defender away. An almighty shot. At 400 miles an hour that was clocked at, and a simplistic header for Filippo. But that was essentially made by, you know, the willingness of Winston Reid to get forward. Gabs on the left-hand side dragging that defender away because he's got that intelligence to create additional space, and Winston Reid having the nuts to have a crack. And that is a great crack. It's a fantastic save, to be fair. And for once, we get the ricochet come to us. You know, the save rebounds to us. Filippo, who is in magnificent form. I can't thank you guys enough for finding that player. He really is growing at an unbelievable rate, and his ability is, it really does stagger me. You know, his first touch at times is impeccable. His vision is just awesome. He has the ability to go round players at pace, and he can actually finish with both feet, which is just phenomenal. He's like a younger version of Gabs, just with a little bit more pace, I suppose, and better looking. Because let's be honest, Gabs does look like Carlos Tevez, which is quite disappointing. Now, Josie, I've got to say, we brought him in, and you know, he started off like a house on fire. Now, my one fear is he hasn't kicked on. That's my one biggest worry. He hasn't kicked on, and I think that could come to haunt us later in the season. It's almost as if his form's been wiped off the planet. You know, he's lacking confidence. A lot of his shots now seem to go high, wide, and handsome, and I really do feel sorry for the guys in row Z who are eating their pies because the ball ends up in their face. That's really frustrating. So essentially what I'm doing here, I'm showing you the last sort of 7 minutes of the actual gameplay, because you know how bad I am. Normally I give away sloppy goals. Not even a sloppy goal, it's sloppy goals. And I'm sure a lot of you were thinking 2-0 at half time. Just remember what happened against West Brom. And don't worry, I've learnt from my West Bromwich Albion mistake. Because it was a mistake, and fundamentally it was all down to my lack of ability to just switch it onto defensive and, you know, cut it out, stop the marauding attacks by West Brom, because they came hammering at us and I just didn't do anything with it. You know, I still allowed my fullbacks to bomb forward, which is, I suppose, from a neutral's point of view, is fantastic because you're getting to see attacking play. But from my point of view, you know, at the end of the day, results mean your job. And why did I pass back to my goalkeeper? That was almost suicidal. I know it's the 90th minute, but you know what world-class AI is like. QPR are more than capable of scoring 2 goals in 2 touches. And luckily, we came away winning 2-0. And I'm so dead chuffed because it was such a hard run up to this game. You know, the amount of energy it took for me playing against Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, the amount of concentration to, you know, not to lose those games. I feel we were hard done by in the Chelsea game. I mean, the last minute equaliser by Torres, you know, that really, God, that was like a sucker punch to the face and a half. I tell you, it really knocked the wind out of me. And then knowing I've got to go and play Arsenal, and they scored just on half time, and it was like, oh Jesus, you know, it was like another punch in the gut and knocked the wind out of me. And then, to be fair, I was happy with a 0-0 against Man City. I felt City were probably, over the course of the game, by far the better team, but I still think we had good chances. Josie had a cracking opportunity late on, but as I say, he's been hitting his shots high, wide and handsome, which really is starting to worry me. But I think he'll find his form. You know, we've got the young lad as well on the bench, Benzia. I've got a lot of faith in him. I played a few games with him, and he does have something about him. It's just a question of, can he grow quick enough for us to benefit it? I mean, look at the table now. Look where Newcastle are. And I know ours doesn't look great, but look, 5 wins, 9 draws, 1 loss. That's not half bad. You know, I am quite happy with that sort of. At this moment in time, I think we're doing better than we are in Season 1. You know, I don't know if you guys agree, but I think we've come a long way in that time period from Season 1. I feel that we have a better team overall. I feel we have a better standard of player. I feel that we can go to the next level. I feel that finishing in the top 6 is not such a huge ask. I feel that it's actually quite possible. I feel that we can actually do it. Which is quite a... Look at Knockhart. That's a cracking cross. Great defensive header out by Newcastle, I have to say. But look who's picking the ball up again. Great space. That's a great shot. And I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. I don't know how I missed that opportunity. I really don't. And the same with Newcastle. I think they were really unlucky not to score there. Not that I'm too bothered about Newcastle not scoring, to be quite frank, but I honestly don't know how I missed that opportunity. This was a really, really hard game. Newcastle, as you can see, Newcastle are closing down not only the space, but the players a lot faster, a lot quicker, which is totally different from QPR. Totally different, which that's the one thing I love about FIFA 13. Every team plays its own unique style. Look at the midfield of Newcastle. They're very combative. They do create space, but their defenders are automatically coming up, picking up the space. They condense the area you have to play football in, which is fantastic. Look, Colaccini's sticking close to Gabs, and that was the moment. That was the moment. Again, how did I miss that opportunity? That's like a gift. Absolute gift. Gabs has found space. Colaccini's half a yard off him. And I stick it wide, which was, I've got to say, a little bit frustrating, to say the least. I was really, really disappointed. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'll take a draw. I know it's not the greatest result in the world, and you're probably thinking, a draw again? John, Jesus Christ, take your bloody opportunities. And I totally agree with you. And then I was a little bit shocked. You know, we sorted out Tompkins' wage wrangle. You know, we got over everything that happened in Season 1. And to be fair, he's been rotated quite well, especially when you consider Diego Reyes is out for 3 bloody months. You know, we have played Tompkins quite a lot. But regardless of that, I'm going to make a team change and put him back in, which I was already going to do anyway, so it's no big deal. I just like to rotate the defenders, as you know. And hopefully that will sort that out, and he'll be happy as Larry. And that's what we need. But I think the team is just like 1 or 2 players short. And hopefully you'll join me in the next episode to discuss that, and I'll catch you later.